Good evening, this is Jupiter Exile, and we're live tonight to try and finish off Slave Knight Gael, the last boss in Dark Souls 3. Continuing our level 1 run, and hopefully tonight completing our level 1 run. I still haven't actually looked into any videos of the third phase. I might have to do that in a bit, but I'm gonna do some attempts to reacclimate myself to the first two phases before I worry about that. But yeah, we're just going straight into it, because we're right at the boss. No reason to hold back. When we last left off, I'd gotten pretty capable as far as the first two phases. We'll see how well that capability holds up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, didn't have the dodge quite right there. So that's something to get back into the swing of. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time for the rushing stab. Slurp. He's no longer poisoned, but I felt we were probably close to the second phase. It bodes well if we can sit down and immediately go to second phase. Ouch. Pretty damaging there. Okay, now he's poisoned. Ah, got hit clean there. A little overeager. Alright, let's make sure the stream's running right. Good time to check. Yada yada. There we go. Looking good. We're getting back to the fight. It's a real action night tonight. Yeah, I think either way, we only care to poison him once during phase 1. We can poison him during phase 2 as well. That'll get us. Yep, just started. Welcome. So we're back to attempts on Slave Knight Gael, final boss of Dark Souls 3, and therefore final boss of the core Dark Souls series. I'd like to try and get this boss fight done before going out of town for the weekend for a wedding. Thought he would do a backswing there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I might have been able to stagger him out of that one. Yeah, because I had a stagger queued up. Okay, there's the phase 1. With those discs out, I'm gonna have to roll like far back for a bit until they come back in. Bit of a messy dodge there. Constant rolling this fight. Gotta get to the other side of him. Further back. That was just a dumb idea. Let's see. We had him down past the halfway mark. Alright, let's go for it. Back on the horse. Seems I need to remember to pace myself through the second phase, as I am getting impatient and getting killed. It's getting slammed. Yeah. That's a rare attack pattern. He does it sometimes. I think he'll only do that if I'm, like, putting distance on him, which I'm not usually doing. Fight is like so cool and acrobatic, man. I didn't count, so I took a hit. I lost track of his attacks. I'm gonna veto that attack pattern. Now phase 2. It's dicey. Oh, not the crossbow right after that. Okay. Could maybe go back to a reset if he gives me a bit of leeway. Ow. Oh, he can do a teleport too. I didn't know that. That was a really nasty series. Oh, I'm using I know that he's resistant to, what's it called? Resistant to slash and vulnerable to, blunt. Although I'm not sure if this actually makes up the difference. This is giving me the flexibility to use, Chloranthy and Ring of Steel Protection. And I am switching it off with that and the, what's it called? The Rotten Grue. Also, it gets stagger on him like nobody's business. I think you're probably right about that. The poison is definitely working though. But yeah, it's possible that I might have an easier time in terms of the damage with him if I just went for the Crescent, as I was before. Chloranthy's super helpful, though. Yeah, the poison part of the strat, at least, I fully agree with. One, two, three, four, five. It's a little off pace. There's second phase. Three phases, as I'm aware. As far as I know. That was bad timing on me. Thank you for not busting out the crossbow. Very, very messy on this compared to some of how I was doing the second phase before. That's gonna hurt. It's mismanaged. I've used a lot more Estus than I want to at this point. Well, at least I got him to third phase. I have barely seen this phase so far. This will be the second time I made it there. Ah, technically 5. Okay, tricky. Yeah, I've only seen him take to the sky twice so far. My handling of the second phase has been kind of sloppy today, but it's only like my third or fourth attempt of the night, so we will get back to it. Whoops. That's just laziness. Interesting. So, like, you can affect him with both at once or something? Oh, that was close enough to hit me. Oh, interesting. Oh, I was still too close. Oh, that's the same way I've died like 3 times over. Like, I zone out and go in for an attack when he's not actually vulnerable. I am going to try changing up the gear, though. Let's see. Let's try the Dragon Slayer Crescent, and then let's check out Rotten Pine Resin to start the fight with. I can always buy more of the stuff. So with this, a few of his attacks will start one-shotting me that didn't one-shot me before, because I'm not using the, what's it called? The Steel Protection +3 anymore. But it's kind of a crutch while we're learning, so... I actually wasn't able to fully poison him with the entirety of the buff. Hmm. More than enough distance there. This certainly does more to him per swing. Yeah, since that dagger's infused, I wouldn't be able to use it. Let's see, my regular dagger is infused with dark for the backstabbing. Well, let's just roll with what we got for now. And I can start using lightning resin for this phase. Ah, okay. I didn't have sight on him winding up for that one. Cloak was in the way. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Let's put the Rotten Brew here, and then just put lightning resin here. So I'll just use the lightning... I'll just use this in the first phase to start it up, and then I'll switch back over. Yeah, there's a lot of marginal things, but you're not going to beat the boss without getting through like the broad strokes of how to avoid stuff. Oh, yeah. That's definitely true. Oh, the Chloranthe is so good for this fight. Half-Light was the most obnoxious thing ever. Hated probably every minute of that fight. That'll hit me. Oh man, that almost killed me, but barely didn't. And I got the drink. Very polite of you, Gael. Ah, I keep misreading that one. Ah. Shoot. Okay, so Sword Slam has two sequences. He can either slam and then pull up, or he can slam into spin, and I need to wait to verify which one or neither before I, like, commit to it, or I'm gonna eat a cape in the face. I also need to remember to poison him in the second phase. If I had poisoned him early on, I would have been done by then. But I used the resin instead. Oh, that killed me. Whoops. I don't know if that killed me straight up or if it was on counter hit damage. I think I might have been straight up. Slam. Oh, okay. No, some of those attacks are just lethal now, and I need to be a little bit more careful during my first phase. That's interesting. He's actually doing more damage with a few different first phase attacks. I think in phase 2, it seems like the only thing that kills me directly is the an overhead slam plus cape if I take it square on the noggin. He'd probably also kill me with the diving stab if I ever let that hit me, but I'd have to be doing something weird to get hit by that. Something mega greedy. Whoops, I accidentally triggered a kick in the middle of that. Stamina, please. One, two, three, four. And there's phase 2. Yep. Poison-infused kick. Let's go. Oof, dicey. Oh, why did it trigger a jump in? That's so goofy. Oh man, that was so weird. Like, not only did it trigger a jump, but it picked that direction for some reason? I couldn't execute that on purpose. Shoot. Take me now, Gael. Certainly it was a matter of like, oh, I screwed up on holy rings, I don't deserve to live. That there was some truly delicious hitboxing on the heavy attack, ducking me under his backswing. But yeah, the backswing is lethal now, so long as I'm not using the steel protection +3. And that's pretty real, because it happens very fast. Swear, doing like three attacks without a backswing in a row, he's luring me into a false sense of security. I know that overhead slam is also immediately lethal without the ring. Wait for the rings to come back in. Okay, that was the wrong guess there. I got killed while I was like, I was doing the weapon swap and it threw off my rhythm just enough to take me out of like being ready to dodge. I might need to be more conscious of how many hits it takes to get the poison on him. Let's see. There's a lot to be said for giving him a hug in the second phase. So long as you can just invuln dodge through several of his sword attacks, the cape stuff will whiff on close. Yeah, he's definitely a huggable grandpa. Okay, my timing for that was a bit screwy, but we're not dead, so it's fine. Super glad that whiffed. Oh, he went for it. I found, like, all sorts of weird stuff happens in this slope, man. Like, technically, I can have a more measured phase 1 if I lure him down, but... yeah, there's definitely, like, a lot of peculiarities that can happen with the hitbox randomly. Ha! Oh, whoops. That was a swing without both my hands on the weapon. Just a little tickle fight attack. That'll kill. That's a greedy drink. I think you might be able to jump over some of the dancer's hitboxes, but it doesn't matter much because it's while she's in the middle of her spins, so you can jump over one of them, but you're not about to play jump rope for it. Oh, there's an extra early dodge. Okay, here we go. I started my attack at just the wrong time. And the axe is a lot more committal than the mace stuff. But it definitely is getting me through the phase faster when I'm playing it right. The biggest difference between the two of them is that when I was using the mace for this, the number of hits to stun him is notably less. I'll switch the equipment set back after this and demonstrate. It ate my Y input for a bit there and didn't put the other hand on the blade. Oh yeah, that one he just whiffed. Oh, gotta heal now. I'm assuming that's a big thing for the no roll attempts. Knowing when you can use a weapon attack to mimic a roll by like shrinking your hitbox. That's so clutch. It boggles my mind to think that people have to figure that out to do those absurd runs. Oh, he's in that pattern. I'm not super familiar with that one. Oh, yeah, I get that. Oh, wow, that's got to be really wild for no roll. Jeez. All right, let's go back to what I was doing before. So I wasn't using the Knight's Ring for that. I'm actually not obligated to use any stat rings for this, which is nice. As long as I hold the mace in two hands. Gonna use Lloyd's Sword, and I'll get Steel Protection back on. This makes this a much more error-tolerant fight. That's right, I was using the Knight's Ring earlier, so that I wouldn't have to be obligated to use the mace in two hands. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, so there's from one stun. I'll let him reset from that. Let's count how many we have to hit him with. 1, 2, 3. Fourth hit causes the stun. Go ahead. Clip away. Might have to study the moment a bit, figure out just what happened, because I certainly was not, like, catching exactly that. Ouch. Yeah, that doesn't oh, whoops. The first thing that happened doesn't insta-kill me, but idly choosing to heal while, like, not thinking about what the boss is doing will totally get that done. Blech. Let's see. I think I have to permit the link posting. And that's for posting permissions, not for what's it called? Clipping. Anybody's able to clip. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you throw the clip in the chat channel, it yells at you, which is like an oddity about the bot. I wanted to I need to like screw with it more. I wanted to make sure that like if a bot jumped in, it couldn't post malicious links. But consequentially, it's blocking. It yells at people for doing a whole bunch of other stuff. And I don't think it yells super consequentially, because I have it set to do, like, a warning. I don't know. I think all I need to do to make it ideal is... Well, you can't prevent bots by saying only followers can do something, because the bots can just follow you. Ouch. Yeah, pretty much. I think I just need to trust people to like moderate and kick any bots that come in. So I've got a couple buddies who will come in and moderate periodically when they've got nothing better to do. I think one of my friends is trying out that new Halo stuff tonight, and I have not kept up with Halo since college with anything that's going on. Okay, there's the phase change. Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Wish me luck. Ah, shoot. Couldn't double roll out in time. Well, I was halfway through phase 2. But hey, that's the trick either way. It's phase 2. Don't mess up a roll too badly. Honestly, just like phase 1 is more error tolerant, so if you're gonna screw up in phase 1. Oh yeah, I've totally got the Rotten Grew Dagger for it. I'm not going for like a big cheese strat, like a poison cast setup, partially because I'm going off of a no spells restriction. But also because, like, I think using like the staff weapon art cheese would be a bit too much. And like, I'll disrespect Yorm because I don't care. I don't think Yorm is very fun, but I can't go too cheesy on the final boss of Dark Souls. Yeah, I'm doing this run after doing Dark Souls 1 and 2, and in Dark Souls 1, the Pyromancy SL1 is like not the same run, and I didn't want to do that run, so I figured I'll set the same restriction for all 3. It makes sense in various ways too, because you're like locking yourself out of Tears of Denial, which is also very different for the run. There's the phase 2, back to poison. Let's get you purpled up. Thank you for the drink. He's not fully poisoned. Yeah. Well, I got him poisoned, but... Yeah, I often get screwed up sometime around the weapon swap. I think I was reading somewhere that the better way to dodge attacks in phase 2 is actually to dodge in the direction of the incoming swing, like a Dark Souls 2 dodge. And I refer to that as a Dark Souls 2 dodge because your iframes in Dark Souls 2 are so wimpy that if you don't dodge through the attack, your dodge just doesn't work. Dark Souls 3 spoils you in comparison to that. Does the Rotten Sword have more of a stat requirement, like more dex maybe? At the moment, I'm taking advantage of not needing any stat rings. The Vessel Shield really opens up the game. And I think that the stat boosting armors are actually pretty cool. Like, I do miss those. I really just wish Dark Souls 2 didn't have the Smelter Demon. Like, the blue Smelter Demon specifically. I phase transition at 60% health and do damage all around me all the time. I actually wanted to make a compilation of all the deaths I took fighting Smelter Demon to like show off the juxtaposition between my character model and his supposed hitboxes. Ouch. Thank you for not crossbowing. And then he just immediately went for it. I had to say something. Now it's crossbow for days. That's what I get. Ah, that was lucky. I do not like that throne was kind of weirded me out in terms of my movement options. Shoot. Yeah, all right. It's like the 4th time I've made it to phase 3. Maybe only the 3rd. Yeah, I understand his multi-lightning strike can only do 1 damage to him. But actually, the random lightning that occurs in the arena can apparently do more meaningful damage to him. It's just like super random. Imagine having that be a run maker. Oh, it's also 1 damage? Bummer. Yeah, that's the thing about RNG. If there's a chance, then it's happened. Or it will happen. It's actually like, what's it called? Something that I always... It's something I've thought about a lot. And something I think is really cool. Like, some people will say, life in the universe is such an astronomically small possibility, that, like, there must be something else out there, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you don't understand what that means, do you? Because, with how old the universe is, or, like, given that we don't even necessarily know, we have a guess, but it's like, there's like weird caveats. Anything that is a possibility is an inevitability. Like, if the occurrence of something is just a matter of chance, then yeah, it'll happen. It's not impossible. Like, furthermore, it's like, if we understand how it can happen, yeah. Ah, I accidentally got yoinked up. Too close for that? Alright. Shoot. Yeah, exactly. It's what's it called? It's the intelligent design argument that comes around to like, oh, all these factors and all this blah, blah, blah. You don't realize that like evolution is not about arriving at some conclusion and like, oh, how unlikely was that? Evolution is about rain falling into a pothole in the road and filling the pothole perfectly because it's a process that functions like liquid. It's a brute force thing. And yeah, if we weren't around to observe the possibility, then that just kind of defeats the whole matter of it. So you can only possibly observe the coincidence from the perspective of being within the coincidence, and who's to say there's not some other coincidence that begets the observation? Like, if the universe were tuned to fit sulfur-based life, then maybe eventually there would be some kind of intelligent sulfur-based life form making observations about how rare it is. Ouch. Yeah. Completely true. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's phase 2. Poison knife out. Ugh. Smooth weapon transition with a timely stagger. No crossbow for you. Come on, pick a move. Okay, this often messes me up. That's new. He does a double slam now. And that's nastier. Okay. So a lot of his big stuff is going to have a follow-up now. Oh, so he's actually easier to stagger with the crossbow out? That's pretty fun. Yeah, that was a pretty good P1 last round. Sometimes I get a really nice P1. And it doesn't even necessarily vary... Oh, nice. It doesn't even necessarily vary on, like, am I paying attention, will it be a good P1? Nah, I can like, chatter about science, and politics, and religion, and sometimes get a good P1 anyway. I actually think a lot of Dark Souls fights, I've done my best when I'm doing idle chatter, so I'm just not psyching myself out. Like, I think my victory on Gwyn, I was chattering about something stupid, like Twitch DMCA policy or something. And I love talking about politics. Quick drink before he comes for the dash stab. Yeah, it's a good habit to be part of. I remember, like, the good social studies teachers who'd have us do, like, a current events paragraph or things like that. That was pretty helpful, I think. I think I really picked up politics more when I was older, working in DC. And there were two habits that I picked up, one of which was, what's it called? I started listening to, like, NPR for the, and C-SPAN on the radio. And I would, like, hear what was going on the congressional floor. And the other thing is, while I was doing that work in, like, a government office, I would actually be just, like, watching C-SPAN on a second monitor while I was doing my tech support job. And I'd be like, oh yeah, because I'm working in a government office, nobody's going to give you a hard time for, like, watching what Congress is doing. So that was pretty cool. And that was a, like, really, really boring job where I often did not have enough work to do and was forced to sit in a chair and, like, basically do nothing. We had some pretty unreasonable bosses. We're like these absolute clowns heading up the IT department for that office. Okay, I'll take a drink here instead of my usual Estusing. And then... Okay, yeah, so his range on that initial setup is pretty limited. I thought might be the case. Ah, that killed me straight up. I think running into that doesn't necessarily kill me. Oh man, he's even got crossbow bits in between his flying stuff. Ugh. Yeah, I think one of my bigger regrets is that when I was back in school, I didn't have that I didn't understand when I was in school that, like, politics is probably what I would say is my passion. And so I wasn't, like, seriously studying that stuff. I didn't take the big AP courses. And if I were more in tune with that, I could have been in, like, poli-sci for my career. And as is, I am desperately hoping that they're going to get one of these, like, free community college things passed, so that I can go to community college without paying an arm and a leg. And, like, get a leg up on a new career that gets me involved. Because more and more stuff keeps happening that makes me feel like I need to be a part of all this. Because, like, I'm in Virginia, and Youngkin won the election, and he won it because Terry McAuliffe ran a horrible, horrible campaign. And I'm like, I'm not really into politics, I'm not doing this every day. But I'm confident that, like, looking at the record of Democrats in Virginia who've been doing a good job, there's no way I would have said on TV what Terry McAuliffe said and all that stupid junk. Now. I think Democrats in... It's funny because Republicans will say that there's all these lines about Democrats being supposedly totalitarian and controlling and big government, blah, blah, blah. Democrats are so soft, man. It's super frustrating. Oh, don't do that while I'm sipping, bro. Yeah, it's like it's super weird. And the thing is, they've set it up to be a two-party system to avoid competition. It's like third parties try to form, and they just like stomp it out. They come together. There's like political media alliances that mess up all sorts of junk. I want to be topped off. Thank you. Oh no, I wound up in a really random spot from one of those dodges doing the wrong thing. Shoot. Ah. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me. And the truth of it is, in America, the Democratic Party is actually like... The Democratic Party is actually two parties in America that have to get along. And the Republicans are actually one party that have about one consistent message. There's maybe like 3 people in the Republican Party who have some kind of genuine dissent. But Democrats actually disagree on some pretty substantial policy matters. Democrats just like work as a coalition because Republicans are so unreasonable that they could not possibly form any kind of coalition. But they're this really big bloc, and the reason they get to be that way and do that is that people in the United States genuinely don't pay attention to politics. And they don't, like, actually understand policy. A lot of people just say, like, well, things are going poorly, so I'll vote for the opposing party. And so we keep flip-flopping because things are consistently bad. But Republicans have kind of figured out at this point that people are mostly unaware about what's actually going on in politics, and they've kind of taken advantage of that to do a whole bunch of corrupt big business junk. And we also have some corrupt Democrats, and the corrupt Democrats get in the way of the Democratic coalition accomplishing its goals. Enough that, like, half the Democrats are really genuinely upset with it. And the loss of enthusiasm threatens the stability of the party. Meanwhile, the, like, Republicans have kind of figured out they can skate by without really governing. Because the people don't even know what governance is supposed to look like. I was too early on the dodge. Whew. Could you just get poisoned? That'd be cool. with that. Ah, he just tore me up with that crossbow. I understand that some people actually, like, pop out 100% shield for this, so that they can just block the crossbow attacks. And I see why. Because, like, half the time the crossbow is really tearing me up. The other half the time it's just like a big opening and I can do whatever I want. But yeah, it makes sense that if there are going to be parties, they should be based on just a couple issues. And then those parties that have like just a couple issues can band together to form a group to govern. And that way people are kind of picking and choosing stuff. There's a couple states in the US that are trying to change their voting mechanism, so it's not just like the person with the most votes. We've got the ranked choice voting system that they're bringing up in some places. The goal of which is like you list out your top 2 people, and that way somebody that is hated by 40% of the people should not be able to make it in. You should be able to have more like general appeal without being everything on party lines. Because that's the problem in America right now, is the way primaries are set up, moderates lose. And so we wind up with no actual moderates in government. And the only people who pretend to be moderates, who say they're moderates, are actually like these weird corporate plants that are being paid tons of money to tank bills. And it's completely absurd. Like, most people in America know and understand that politicians are corrupt and they're being bribed, but we can't agree on which politicians are corrupt and being bribed. And the biggest problem with the current administration is that they're not holding the people who are being bribed accountable for accepting bribes. Because the Supreme Court made these really stupid decisions back in, like, early 2000s that kind of legalized bribery. And our political process has not recovered from that. That's like the core of the problem in American politics. Man, I should have put political chat in the title, because I will talk about politics, and that will make it feel like I'm not fighting a boss for 4 hours straight. And that's pretty great. I think I pretty much just need to grind the boss until everything he does is second nature. And I stop making mistakes like that. This is a long phase 1. I think he's probably, yeah, he stopped being poisoned before I got the transition. I'm not far away, though. There we go. Whew. Nope. I didn't even dodge there. I, like, canceled my dodge for something. Ouch. Blech. Well, that's fine. I wasn't feeling that attempt. I think for phase 2, I might want to like lure him back out of that little basin a little more. Instead of running straight at him, kind of give him some time to walk towards me. Because I'm getting weirdly tangled up on some of those thrones sometimes, some other stuff. Part of me thinks I might be able to like troll him all the way to the bank if I wind up fighting him on a slope. There we go. What do you want to do? Come on. It's a bit of a bummer of attack, because I'm pretty sure I was waiting for a stagger. And I don't want to waste my, like, staggers on big windows. Man, I completely zonked there. I gotta finish this cup of coffee. Oh, you know what is something that I could talk about? It might be entertaining if you're not in the US, might be interesting. It's like a weird fact about something that we do terribly over here. You may be aware of it. It's tipping culture. So when you're like in restaurants or things like that, it's expected that... Oh, well, I'll just lose this fight. Anyway, this is pretty interesting. So when you're in restaurants and taking taxis and things like that, it's expected that some portion of your bill, you're going to pay that over or leave that on the table, and that is part of what makes up the wages for your server. It's like, theoretically, if your server is doing a good job, you're going to give them more of a tip, and if they're not doing a good job, you're going to give them less of a tip. And that's been culture in America for a really long time, and it has its roots back in a time when, like, people were not being paid fairly. So it's like a loose form of... so it has its roots in being a loose form of, like, bribery towards your server. And the thing that's messed up about it is we have minimum wage laws here, right? Where it's like, okay, a job cannot offer less than this amount of money. It's not fair to people. But if your job accepts tips, there's actually an alternative minimum wage that your employer can pay. And the tips that you're collecting are, like, expected to make up the difference. 2, 3, 4, 5. But... So, and the alternative minimum wage for somebody receiving tips is, like, tremendously low. It's like $4, whereas the actual minimum wage depends a lot on your state, but the worst states have a minimum wage of like $7. Yeah, there are actually places where you can have a minimum wage of like $4 plus tips. So the thing is, the amount of tips you're earning is supposed to be enough to take you up to the actual minimum wage for your state or whatever it is. So if your actual minimum wage is like $7, but you're earning like $4 an hour as your actual minimum wage plus tips, theoretically the amount of tips you're getting is supposed to be an amount per hour that actually gets you up to the proper minimum wage. But in the event that it isn't for whatever reason, you, the employee, have the obligation to prove that you are not getting enough tips. That is not part of, like, an employer's requirement, which I think is super weird. But that's also ignoring that, like, tipping culture itself is kind of weird, because, like, how many jobs are there? Ooh, that was a neat little R1 dodge. Oh, I dodged right into the discus. How many jobs are there where you do the job, and then after you've done the job, they decide how much they're going to pay you for doing the job? That's what tipping is. And that's super dumb. Yep, he baited me. He baited me hard. And you can tell people like this, and they'll just kind of give you a dumb answer, like, oh, but I want to be able to, like, give feedback and have that kind of control as the consumer. Like, okay, maybe you like that, maybe you're used to it, but it's wrong and you shouldn't. You don't need to have that kind of input. If somebody does a genuinely bad job, talk to the manager and give your feedback and, like, tell them, oh, this person, you know, didn't give me my soup even though I waited for 2 hours. And then that is between the manager and the employee. This is, like, not your business. Yeah, that makes sense. That, like, rounding up the money a little bit. I mean, like, even in places that don't abide by that rule, there's a tip jar. Like, Starbucks adheres to minimum wage requirements like a standard workplace, but they have a tip jar out, and they'll split the tips from the tip jar. I don't think that, like, tipping necessarily needs to be banned, because every now and again, like, people can use that as a reasoning to be nice. And, like, service workers need avenues for, like, human kindness. The problem is that the employers get out of minimum wage, and I think that's dumb. Like, people should have the same standard minimum wage, and if there's going to be a tip culture on top of that, that's fine. I don't want to tell people that they have to abandon tip culture, but you do have to pay your workers fairly. There are 6 out of 50 states in the U.S., only 6 out of 50, where they have done away with the alternative minimum. Ouch. I barely didn't die from that cape attack. Way to go, me. Not dying. Yeah. This time, I'm just going to keep away from him until the discs come back. Which is theoretically what I could have done before, but I am wicked greedy and impatient. One-shot me on that. I was probably pretty close to the phase change. I'm probably going to have to just watch a video on how to handle the third phase, because it is going to take a ridiculous number of attempts for me to see enough of the third phase to practice it. This is like one of those cases where it would not go amiss for me to, like, duplicate the save file, so that in another save file I could, like, eat all my boss souls, turn it into HP, and then use a character who has, like, 4 times as much health to see what the third phase looks like. Yeah, I was surprised enough that I was able to beat Midir without too many complications, since he's very much like screw up, get splatted. Midir just has, like, super polite telegraphs. He's like the most polite dragon I've ever seen. which I like a ton. I mean, I'm even trying to, like, what's it called? Telegraphs like that. I try to make that happen when I'm GMing D&D. Oh yeah, Midir? I think so. Ultimately, the things he was doing were very clear to me. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Phase 2. Oh. Okay, those cape hits were kind of junk, but that happens sometimes. Ouch. Dodged late. Oh, jeez. A lot of game journalists are just really junky. I think there was a, what's it called? Circle Tunes had a video about, like, game journalist goes speedrunner, and it's like you can't even get past the tutorial. It's nuts. I mean, he's a funny guy. I feel like to see something actually hard, they wouldn't have to go very far. I mean, like, why didn't they just input, like, Orphan of Kos? I don't think they'd get any argument from people on that one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Oh, that's true. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slap, slap. Running thingy. About 1,400 to go for the first phase, give or take. Slap, slap, stagger, slap. About 500 maybe? There we go. Less. Ouch. Ah. I gotta count out the staggers in phase 2. That's true, that's true. You just gotta poke him to death. There are enough options to use items in phase 2 that I could possibly, like, back up and use a resin at some point and hit him for better damage. I don't know. You're already poisoned. basically the poison damage is contributing what, like, using a resin from the start would contribute. And I don't think he drops poison going into third phase, because it's not like a cutscene phase switch. Oh, whiffed. Fairly polite pattern, though. And that'll be one more to phase. No, put that away. Ouch. Cape got me. Shoot. Yeah, that instinct to move out gets me half the time on this phase. It's like, ah, I got hit by the cape. I need to get out so I can heal. Oh, the cape killed me. There's really, like, nothing else about it. It just needs to be a lot of clean dodges. Ideally while hugging the boss the entire time. Alright, now we got the damage tracker up and running. Stamina, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ha! I got in a fully charged heavy. Which I really did for no other reason than to see if I could. And I only got it because of his attack choice, so... Just a few more for the phase. Oh. He swayed back on me. One more hit should phase him. Oh shoot! I dodged too early, so he tracked onto me before he did the swing. If I dodged a little later, no, I'm not sure exactly. Probably just needed to dodge left instead of dodging right. The thing I have said a couple of times to myself and never executed on. I think he hit me during the weapon swap. Slurp. Stagger. Nervous dodges. Stagger. One, two, three, four. Dodge and phase. Uh-oh, not a crossbow now. It's a really bad time for crossbow. You are moody today, aren't you? Okay, he is poisoned, so I can stop worrying about that. I should worry about this instead. Oh, is it a guarantee after Discus? That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, I think I haven't picked up on that because I don't usually keep distance for the Discus. I consider that a mistake, which it is. So I think I haven't, like, analyzed that behavior pattern. I'd say by now I'm only aware of his, like, phase 1 guarantees. Bad dodge. Okay. I held down the B button too long, so it ate my dodge and turned it into a run startup. Whew. I didn't finish the poison. That'll do it. Good setup to start the stun. Oh, come on, I was hammering on dodge that time. That was pretty junky. I can't say I know exactly what went wrong between, like, the hit and the missed dodge. Whew. Yeah, I know my best phase ones are the ones where I actually, like, keep track of my staggers. if I were focusing up more, I'd totally do that. I absolutely had to do that for Nameless King. But Nameless King is actually, like, nice enough to crumple and get you, like, a full-blown riposte, or a visceral. So I am thinking in the month of December... Okay, that time it let me dodge. In the month of December, while I have some time, not sure how much I'm going to have, I will be booting up Bloodborne for some BL4. Oh, he poisoned into phase 2. That's very nice. And I am excited to get back into that. Don't kick Gael! Oh man, there are definitely times I wish I could disable that. It's just like jittery action on the left thumbstick, just messing up my attack sequences. But I absolutely love the way that in Bloodborne, when you play it right, you can like lock down bosses, and the charged R2 giving you backstab. I've said before, while I'm fighting like some of these dragons, that you've got like strategic fighting and reflex fighting. Where strategic fighting is like knowing where to be, the weapons you're bringing, the items you're using, stagger mechanics. Buffer dodge came out. And, like, Dark Souls tends to offer a mix of strategic fights and reflexive fights. I think at Gael has a bit more on the reflex side than he does on the planning side. You have to just dodge correctly a lot. There are some attacks where you can know where to be or know kind of the direction you dodge. But Bloodborne has a lot of fights that you can handle strategically, because you can use items in proper cycles. There are bosses that you can stagger out if you fight them correctly. And I just think that's really cool and really fun. I really like the intellect side of the play. The fact that there's like a hitless speed routing, I think is super cool. I also haven't played Sekiro in forever. I wasn't planning on doing like a low stat Sekiro before Elden Ring comes out. I'm not necessarily planning to beat a BL4 in Bloodborne, because that run can be quite long, especially if you're including the Chalice dungeons. And there are some cool, unique Chalice dungeon bosses that I think it's a shame if you don't include them in the run. So I think it's best to include the story Chalice dungeons in a BL4. But I haven't played that game in forever. I never beat the DLC before. And there are several Chalice dungeon bosses that I never fought. going to move away until his discs come back. Poisoned. Oh. One of my presses didn't take. I didn't, like, swap the weapon. Oh, got hit by that. I'm gonna stay close for a little bit so that he doesn't do crossbows immediately. Trying a more methodical phase 2. Still got absolutely walloped by certain things, but don't jump now. This is not the right time. Oh, I got hit by lightning. I have no idea how to get out of here. Okay, back to neutral. Maybe. Okay, so he will follow up the spin in that phase. Yeah, it's really overdue for a port. That'd be nice, man. I think it would revitalize the game immediately. You don't even need to update the graphics. It's perfectly fine. Okay, this is the point where I will take a break to watch the fight and actually know a bit more about what I'm dealing with. So let me just YouTube that up a while. Alright. So Gael, SL1, here we go. And I need to make sure it's not a cheese strat. Okay, here we go. He's using a Stora Straight Sword. Looks like he's starting with the Rotten Pine. He's got Chloranthe. I think that might be a Karthus Blood Ring setup. Yeah. I figure Karthus Blood Ring could be helpful for Phase 2. I haven't actually picked it up on this run yet. He's actually getting a couple more swings per opening than I really tend to be, because it's a faster weapon. Nothing different so far, of course, because it's Phase 1. Oh, that was a really daring rebuff. He's got this labeled as a new game +7, but with the way the boss's HP is going down relative to the phasing... Okay, yeah, he does have more health. I was about to say, like, is this actually a new game +7? It looks like the boss has the same amount of health. But no, he's got at least 3,000 more. Okay, Phase 2. Here's the part I need to watch. Sue's going into Rotten Pine. Okay, the straight stab, he's just walking around. So that's noteworthy. Oh, you can actually walk a lot of those attacks, can't you? Okay, and he's getting a cheeky hit in there, which I figured was possible. Yeah, I pulled one up now. if you wanna link any really good ones, I'll be down for that. Yeah, I wound up watching some references for Half-Light 2. I didn't have to watch any for Midir, but I do usually find that there's bits and pieces about an SL1 fight that I can't figure out just by doing the fight myself. Let's see. So the one I'm watching right now is like basically an armorless NG +7 version of the fight. Okay, that's how. Okay, there's him going to phase 4, I guess. Okay, so he does that again at the start of that phase. That's good to note. Hmm. Uh, uh. Oh, it's still telling you no links. That's super weird since I put in that you're allowed a while ago. Oh well, I can still see the link. I don't know if other people in the chat can see the link. Okay, so he's re-implementing the buff on phase 4 and phase 5. Okay, I see. He's just running away from a lot of this stuff. Kind of looks like the boss loosely goes into Artorias mode, where he's in the mood to do almost nothing but flip slams. Oh, are they? Okay. Oh, I see. He just periodically does the burst while he's in phase 3. I did kind of think when I was first doing this fight that he had a behavior shift at some point in phase 1. Okay. So there's that. Let me check out the link you posted. Get over here. Ah, cool. So it's a +0 vid. Oh, it's using resins and bundles, and I see this one's a what's it called? Like an RTSR strat, which makes sense. If it's going to be a +0 fight, it's going to have to do something for more damage. Yeah, let's skip ahead to the phase 2 at least. Okay, here's phase 2. Yeah, I know you can run around gold discs. I'm just often not quite in the position to do it. Okay, yeah, I think the biggest takeaway I'm getting out of this is like, don't worry about close-up contesting him on hits on like his multiple horizontal sequence, because you just don't need to. He's got bigger, better openings. You could just focus on punishing like his downward chop, things like that, or his more than that, his stab. Oh, he actually went for a full-blown R2 there. Okay. Is this one of your runs? Oh, yep, it is. Let me actually just jump on that. Yeah, I can't believe the fortitude to be going through like some of those role-less stuff. I can understand the +0 weapon concept. I think that is like a logical occurrence to me as a challenge run. Oh, and it's uninfused too, so you don't even have the raw effect on the weapon. Jeez. So, I understand why you're carrying like big piles of resin bundles then. Gotta squeak in some kind of damage. I think no roll is like academically interesting in that way, yeah, because there are a lot of kind of quirky boss hitboxes that you can exploit. Yeah, so you can get in at least one extra hit during the phase change to 3. Yeah, phase 3 seems like it's mostly like phase 2, except he just gets a lot meaner on certain things. He's got okay, so he does have teleport. Okay, I see. So you're just staying away from him for a lot of this stuff. Okay, so what I'm gathering is largely that if he finishes with a stab, that's pretty safe. But as of phase 3, his sequences that finish with a slam aren't actually done. And his 2 charged cape sequences have really noteworthy follow-ups, and you should just leave him alone for a bit. Yeah, it's funnily enough, I've at this point, I think I've actually seen most of his varieties and most of his stuff, but a lot of it I've only seen once at this point. Yeah, I think my back when I was first learning to do any SL1 stuff, like fighting SL1 Artorias, my breakthrough on that fight was definitely like watching some renditions of it and understanding which attacks that I could just like backstep out of and get a huge punish. That was huge for me in actually learning that fight. No roll Calamete's got to be a trip too, because I can loosely understand that there are some attacks that I could strafe out over or walk to a different spot on Calamite, but I remember actually beating him for me was a lot about figuring out how to roll the like the bites with the right timing. Okay, yeah. Back to it. Let's see. I think I might just try the Astoras for a bit, just for the extra reach and speed. I'm gonna go Priestess, and because I just have it. Where are you hanging out? So for that matter, let me see about using a Rotten Pine startup with Astoras. See how this goes. I should probably be applying that once I'm in the arena. Yeah, it's definitely true. Plus, yeah, I can hit at that range, no trouble. And the stamina cost is like nothing. One, two, three, four. Oh yeah, yeah. That's true. Since your stamina comes back while you're using an item. Oh, whoops. I thought I might go under that. Yeah, since Prisoner's Chain gives you the extra. Oh, he's still poisoned after the phase transition. I didn't actually need a dodge there. Wait for those to come back in. Okay. We theoretically learned some things, and we are not putting them to use just yet. I gotta work out the old reflexes. Ouch. Shoot. Blech. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so we could definitely run out about 3/4 of the stamina bar. There we go. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, he was still in the mood for some violence. Slurp. Oh, he's actually still poisoned. Nope. He's a little too close to strafe that. Or a little too slow to strafe that. Ah. Oh, right, that's a chop. Can't strafe a chop. Didn't die. Nice. All right. Space. Roll those. Let that come in a bit close. Give him a lot of berth for a bit. Ouch. Ah, shoot. I had it. I'm like, okay, this is finally the attack that I can dodge in and get hits on. Nope. Don't do that wrong. Okay, well, I lived longer than usual for the third phase, so... I basically just didn't try to screw with him for a bit. Just gotta think of third phase, he's on fire. Just assume he's on fire. Right, I completely lost track of what I was doing, so I didn't do the proper, like, run out, recover stamina thing. Oh well. That's fine. It's a pretty small optimization at this point. The straight sword is pretty comfy. We don't get quite as many staggers, but that's fine. Like, I wasn't counting out the staggers that well anyway. And I didn't get punished for doing that, which would have punished me on the mace. And that ends with a leap. And he is still poisoned as well. He was wise to my Estus ways. Let's just top off. Okay, so if I roll straight at him for that, which has been a bit of an experiment, I'm definitely going to take a cloak hit if I do a straight roll on that attack. Oh, this is a bad Estus. Eep. Thank you. Let me get that out of the way. That always bothers me. Phase change. Bad phase change. Haha. Yeah, okay. Always run away on the phase change. You can't just back up a little bit, you gotta back up a lot. That's like a thing I knew in my brain, but not in the moment. I could wait a little longer on that buff. That buffer dodge is annoying. There we go. Should be pretty close to the phase change now. There we go. Oop, that's no good. Ouch. Certainly learned a few things about where errors can or cannot be tolerated during the fight. It's like, oh, that's survivable. That's not. Well, that's survivable. That's not. So if you want to press into him during his retreating crossbow spray, you have to be really close for the whole attack. Okay. One, two, three, four. Pretty clean for that phase. That's a bit early for a rotten resin. I should have just gone for the lightning resin there. Just make the same error super quick. Yeah, that's what I need to be doing. Leave on the second attack. Go back in when he does the stab. And don't buffer your dodges into something dumb like that. Ha! Got the heal in. And then I got crossbowed for a lot. Ay, ay, ay. A little slurp. Okay, now we full-blown run away from him. So the tracking on his first attack is really bad. Stay out of the lightning areas. That's right, you take one from your lightning. Right. That's a 3-hit sequence. I could punish after the 3rd hit. This has a follow-up now. Take that. No third attack? Okay. I hadn't... Okay. So yeah, that's a longer sequence, and I had some early stuff there. Yeah, get hit by your own lightning. You big bully. Okay. I'm like barely starting to understand the third phase. It's mostly just that it's a much more patient phase, to be certain. Because the second phase is an absolute rushdown. Like, you don't want to give him like a lot of breathing room. And the third phase is a lot more like Fume Knight or Artorias, where you need to pick some very specific moments to go in. Oh, that hit me? Okay, that was super weird. I think I, like, tripped on his sword after a dodge. Shouldn't be a lot left for phase 1. Or I could completely screw up and die. Can't discount that possibility. There we go. So we're coming into this with a pine resin. Yeah, that was too far out to be safe. That's the way we want that to go. Give him a bit of time to think about what he wants to do. Give him a lot of space. Okay. Ouch. I had to take a moment there to make sure I wasn't going to get completely wrecked by, like, lightning strikes. That was a bad one. That is my good punish window sequence. Oh, he follows that up. Got it. That cape will kill me. Okay, I didn't know he could follow up the dive. I thought the dive was a single thing. But the dive is not punishable. Oof. Spooky. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm feeling more confidence, but, confidence is a slow and insidious killer. I have been tuning up a bit more of the original Darkest Dungeon, but it's just making me want to play Darkest Dungeon 2 because roster management in Darkest Dungeon is pretty exhausting. Go easy on my stamina, buddy. Phase 2. I probably didn't need that dodge there, but I wasn't sure if I was going to have the strafe out correct. That was a really clean phase 2. I think that was my cleanest ever phase 2. Time to screw it all up in a moment. I'm having the problem now where I, like, don't trust this attack sequence is genuinely over. Shoot. I knew I had to dodge there, I just didn't input it in time. Of course, Phase 3 also has a lot more audio-visual noise going on, which is kind of tough. And since you have to be backing up a lot and repositioning a lot, you're not going to wind up in, like, quite the same places. Like, there, where he got me, he was a little bit on the other side of a slope. Which makes it a little bit harder to read his movements. Like, I knew from a strategic level what that attack sequence was, but I didn't time it right. And some of that is that I didn't see that clearly, and the other part is I got unaccustomed to timing it correctly because he's doing a lot of other stuff. Two, three, four. Quick drink before he does a dash stab. That ends the jump. Ow. I think that was an input mistake. 4. Such a fine line between, like, dodge and dash. There are even times where I recognize that I have mistakenly input a dodge, but I hold it down to cancel it into a dash to prevent myself from, like, dying. So it does cut both ways on that. Oh. That's gonna kill me. Shoot. Right when I thought, like, okay, I'll just do a clean dodge on this into a drink, and it was the other kind of chop. I'm doing a bit of a bad job differentiating the downward chop from the forward thrust. They come from a pretty similar spot. But there are very different properties on those moves. Definitely not the kind of thing you can afford to be mistaking. Oh, looks like Curly got Halo Infinite booted up. I hope that plays well for him. I was talking to my coworker yesterday. It was the rare instance when we were both in the office, and it's actually a good thing. He got fully hired. He's been a contractor for a long time, so that was pretty cool. So he was in the office to fill out some paperwork, and it's a dang good thing that he was. HR is like drowning me in new hires for some reason. I had to meet with like 4 people in an hour-and-a-half period about a whole bunch of nonsense and give most of them new computers. Stay topped off. Wait for the discus. So the biggest reason to use the Astoras here is actually that shoot, I wasn't quite far away enough. With an Astoras in Phase 2, you can hit him while he's neutrally pacing, and it's safe every time. With the mace, it's not safe to hit him while he's neutrally pacing. So that's pretty big. Well, at least I can get through Phase 2 pretty routinely now. It's not like I need to get through Phase 3 more than once. Oh, but I was starting to talk about my coworker. He and a buddy of his are actually trying a challenge run, I understand. They are trying to run Halo 2 Legendary Co-op, all skulls. There was a name for the run. I think it was something more than LAS, which is like Legendary All Skulls. Stabbing. No crossbow. I said no crossbow, you jerk. Seems you don't understand. shoot. Yeah, I made some pretty risky choices there. Some of the cases there where I stayed in and attacked was not correct. I might need to take a food break soon. I heard back from my landlord today about my messed up dishwasher. He is probably going to be replacing the thing because it is broken too much. But the last repair on it was like 6 months ago, so it may be on warranty and we might be able to get a free repair. It's a bummer that this happened like so close to the holiday, both for him and for me, because, you know, he's got like family to do a holiday with, and I'm sympathetic to that. Even though it's specifically his responsibility to provide me with a working dishwasher. Bam. Phase. Resin. My camera like jerked around there really hard. Ah, I correctly dodged left that time. I didn't need to dodge there. He was way off. That one I needed to dodge right if I was going to be there at all. This is the case of, like, being in the basin is weirding me out. Because when there's a slope behind me or when the camera's partially obscured, the run out of the attack, like, part of my brain shuts down. Like, my head is interpreting it as a wall instead of a slope. So I have noticed in the first phase, if you haven't hurt him enough, or if he's never done the enrage attack, he will not use the backswing follow-up on any of his combos. I'm assuming that's what you meant by, like, there technically being multiple phases inside the first phase. He definitely, like, ratchets up his aggression after he has been staggered or performed that attack once. Yep. Yeah, the uppercut dash is pretty rough. Oh. Got him on poison. Oh! I almost never see him go from that into crossbow. Okay, there we go. Yeah, he's got a couple different contextual crossbow options. Almost got killed by Discus there. I figured I could get far away enough for that. Let's take distance. Okay, so here and now, I am actually genuinely back to the wall of the arena. This is more like what I want to fight him at. Except I need to not get hit by that. Interesting. I don't think I ever actually want to bait crossbow. It's messing me up a lot. I could see possibly using the bait on it, since you can stagger him out of it pretty well, theoretically. If I was doing like a shielded setup, then maybe. Ah, I see, I see, I see. Funny, you can almost think of like no roll Dark Souls 3 as like Dark Souls 3 without the Dark Souls 3. The rolling is so good in this game, but like it's understandable that that's actually removing your primary crutch. It's like leveling isn't as much of a crutch as rolling, I guess. Well, it's peculiar. Leveling and rolling are both crutches. Oh, my lock-on actually got taken away. You can avoid the crossbow without rolling or sprinting? Huh. Oh, Bloodborne no sprint. Oh, that's still corrected into me. I needed to run if I wanted to strafe that. Because the overhead slam is harder to strafe than the stab. Man, it's got to be tough when you're playing, like, no dodge, but you're allowing sprint. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate the support a heck of a lot. Thanks for the well wishes. You have a good night. Knack. Ugh, that's awful. Alright. Wash that right off, get back into it. Yeah. Oof, that sucks. Oh, because if you're like mid-sprint, it might tell you that you roll. Ugh. I wish that Dark Souls 3 had the had like some mechanics similar to the bonfire ascetics from Dark Souls 2. Being able to refight the bosses in Dark Souls 2 is so good. I actually wish you could ascetic without increasing the difficulty. It would stop the need for, like, save manipulations and things like that. Oh. Right, he's doing that. I was like, this'll whiff, right? Nah, different attack. I'm gonna hear this music in my sleep. Oh, phase change mid-attack. Okay, give me a stab. That is not the stab. Take distance on this. I don't want to fight you over there. It's not fun, bro. I need to get out of this positioning, and I got killed. So I couldn't tell what he was doing from that angle. Because if you're facing like right at him and he's directing a stab, but the stab is actually like behind him relative to you, he's got like the sword hidden by his body. It's tough. All right. After this attempt, I have to either eat something or order some food so that I can have the promise of something to eat. And I think I'm probably going to order something because I am tired of having like super basic meals while my well, I've been ordering a lot while my dishwasher's not working because I can't easily clean up anything I dirty, so I don't want to like really cook. Bummer. I had some celery and carrots I needed to use and some chicken stock. Could make like a chicken and rice thing, but I'd wind up dirtying a huge pot. I've been trying to only order food once a week, but I've already broken the rule this week, and I might order again. Here we go. Please be nice. This is automatically the crossbow. There's phase change. I take a lot of distance, and from here I should be able to resin up. Okay. I had to do an extra roll there because I was actually standing on a lightning spot. When he does this, I think I need to leave because I think he's going to do the fly afterwards. Yeah, I think that's almost guaranteed. Slurp to top off. That should be an opening. Barely enough time for 2 hits there. He does something after this. He chose to end the sequence there. We're taking distance here, and we should be able to pine resin. I got a little nicked. Gonna top off. That's a clean opening. That was actually a clean opening if I had dodged it correctly. It's a risky one. Killed me. Alright. I was going a lot better, but we've still got a lot of phase 3 to go. It's a much slower phase. Okay, this is when I said I was going to figure out what I'm eating. So let's get something to eat before we wither away in this chair. All right, it's 8 o'clock. I think I'm just going to do an order. And then I can eat something around 9-ish. But I'm going to try and keep attempts going out to 11. Okay. Wait, no. I ordered from this place before. The fries were mediocre. It's gotta have good fries, man. Alright, I think I want a cheesesteak. Cheesesteak and fries. Here we go. Local pizzeria. Done deal. Let's see. Cheesesteaks. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Combo fries. Let's hit the order. Alright. Spending a bit of money to avoid driving only 10 minutes outside of my house. The essence of entitlement. But god dang it, I want to kill this boss. Alright. Whew. Alright. Let's sit back down to it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think a straight sword is one of the bigger changes that has gotten me closer to this. Oh, he actually did the follow-up right away. Okay. Yeah, that'll throw me for a loop. It's been a long time since he did that before his first stagger. But yeah, I guess it is that he has a different chance of doing it as he goes. At some point, I may need to farm souls for more rotten pine resin. It's definitely helping, and I don't have a ton of it. Wow, okay. I stood up and I forgot how to do the fight. Those rolls were much too early. Yeah, we're just trying to pound in that muscle memory. If I don't get it tonight, I will be online for a bit tomorrow between about 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Camera, please. Please, no. He's throwing out these follow-ups like it's nothing. He's really got it in for me. Get that off the ground. I totally get distracted by that being on the floor. Even when it's meaningless. Perhaps especially when it's meaningless. I actually didn't get in enough hits to poison him before my poison ran out. So that's pretty clear that this is a messy attempt. So if he's not poisoned, I'll definitely be using the Rotten Pine to lead in on the phase 2. That will hit. Right, because that's his dashing cut. Yeah, I'm about 2 Estus down from my usual. There we go. That's the ideal. This is what we want. Not that, though. That was pretty dicey. Okay, we got to phase 3, so there's that. That's nice. Yeah, that there with the leap back in after leaping backwards is a full sequence. Backwards and in. I can't see shit. Back out. I'd like to resin up here. He got caught on a chair. Clean hits. Okay, we back up. He goes crazy for a bit. He does a thing. Gotta watch for lightning here. Move out, we'll re-resin. I got a little nicked. I can't see a goddamn thing. That was an early dodge. Two hits. Oh, this is long. Two hits here. One hit, we leave. Resin up. Positioning's awkward here. Watch for lightning. Watch for lightning. I might have been able to take a hit there, like the dish went out. And that is Dark Souls 3 SL1 all bosses. Woo! We required the soul of Slave Knight Gael and the blood of the Dark Soul. Alright, yeah. We just had to figure out and get down a couple things about Phase 3, like leaving, rebuffing, being really, really patient, and just handling it a bit differently. But with that, Dark Souls 3 All Bosses is now complete. I am assuming that I can cart off the blood of the Dark Soul to the chapel and hand it back off to Gael's patron for them to paint with. I don't know if this unlocks another ending or what the heck, because I've never done this before. But, finally got there. So that's nice. Here.
My thanks, Ashen One. With this will I paint a world. Please tell me thy name. I would name this painting after thee.
What the heck did I name my character?
My thanks. 'Twill be a cold, and one day.
Alright. Well, that is done, and that, by and large, concludes the run. So all that's left now is to prove the, you know, all the stuff that I did, and then put that in a clip. So I'm gonna quickly go back to where I fought the Soul of Cinder. Because the typical proof of completion is you go over and you stand in the Kiln of the First Flame, you walk up to the basin, and you show off all your souls. It's a bummer. I finished the run like not 20 minutes after Carbonator had to go. So, here we are in the basin with the bonfire. We are indeed a level 1 character. Our current equipment set is looking something like this. But most importantly, in our inventory, we have got all these souls. The Crystal Sage, Wolnir, Dragonslayer armor. We've got the Soul of Demon from Karthus Ruins, the Stray Demon from up on top of the swamp, the Old Demon King, Consumed Osiros, the Nameless King, Blood of the Wolf, Yorm, Aldrich, Twin Princes, Soul of the Lord. I don't know which one drops the Soul of the Lords. Frida, Demon Prince, Dark Eater Midir, Gael, and so on and so forth. I think I consumed a couple of the mandatory souls. Like, I consumed the Pontiff Soul, the... what's it called? Champion Gundyr I made into the Prisoner's Chain. Trying to think of what else is kill-proof, or what else needs to be kill-proof. Is there anything else optional? The Blood of the Wolf, I think, is from the Champion Gravetender. I got through that one. Ritual Spear Fragment from Half-Light. I think that should be everything. Like, I definitely ate the soul for the first boss. There's no skipping for that. And it looks like I ate the soul for the Rotted Greatwood. No, I turned it into the Hollow Slayer Greatsword, so I was mucking with that for a bit. But I have transposed items, so that proves that. I think that's it. If you can think of anything else, just throw that in the comments later, because this will be up on YouTube, as well as all the rest of my series of going through Dark Souls 3 SL1. Because we're done, and I'm like trying to think of more to say about it, because this has been fantastic. It's been a ton of fun to get back to, and I have like proven to myself that I can accomplish some of these things. We killed Midir within an hour of first meeting him, and I was super proud about that. And I think all that's left now is to watch an ending and check for the playtime, and then make the clips. Oh man, we got nails. I guess it's probably a part of the gloves when you get down to it. I think these are the witches set. I might have eaten the soul of the Ancient Wyvern, but that's mandatory to fight Nameless King, and I showed the Nameless King soul, so we're fine. showed off Old Demon King. That's an optional fight. Now, when it comes down to the legitimacy of the run, one thing I should mention is I brought along Sigmire to fight Yorm. I think Yorm is a cheesy fight, and if that does not adhere to somebody's standards, whatever. Then if you have some kind of a title, or if you think that makes the run illegitimate, go you. Everybody has to make their own challenge. And for my appetite for challenge did not extend to fighting Yorm in any more difficult way. It's just a cheesy fight. I don't care.
The first flame quickly fades. Darkness will shortly settle.
I do appreciate this ending. An end to flame.
But one day, tiny flames will dance across the darkness.
Humanity will return.
Like embers linked by Lord's Pass.
We will never truly go hollow. Take that moment to pause, to breathe, as everything fades.
Ashen One, hearest thou my voice still?
And that is Dark Souls 3 SL1 All Bosses. I want to thank you all very much for joining. I'm not certain when we will be beginning on the next run, but we'll be running some BL4, that is, Bloodborne, at the lowest possible level. I would like to start that next Monday, but I'm not certain if I will be around. I'm going to a wedding over the weekend, and I understand we're checking out on Monday. I might be coming out of a huge drive back from West Virginia, so if that's the case, I may not be playing or streaming for Monday. As for this week, I also will not be streaming for Friday, because that's the start of the trip. So I might see you again for a little bit Thursday afternoon if we wanted to stream something, but it won't be this. So I think for a while this will be farewell. I'll have this uploaded to YouTube. We'll figure out the full runtime. I think grand total, the Dark Souls 3 content is probably, it's got to be less than 35 hours. Dark Souls 2, I think we went out to like 50 hours. Dark Souls 1 was about 23. Almost all of that is uploaded on YouTube, except for a couple times where I lost the footage because Streamlabs was not cooperating. Thankfully, that has not been happening ever since I replaced my router. So I'm going to call it the router's fault. Move on with my day. We don't need to watch the entire thing of this. We're going to say no on Journey 2, just so that we can still run around if we need to. And we will cut out to the main menu to check the playtime. Just under 40 hours. So, yeah. That's Dark Souls 3 SL1 in just under 40 hours. I'm Jupiter Exile. Thank you for watching, and you have a good night. I'm going to send a raid over to my good friend Curly, and we can see him floundering in Halo Infinite. Or killing. Maybe he's good at this. I don't know. I'm assuming he's going to get blown up.